Turning now to the historic verdict in the trial of Donald Trump. He was found guilty on 34 counts and is now the first former president to be convicted in a criminal case. Trump also taking aim at Michael Cohen, his former attorney who testified for the prosecution. He didn't name Cohen outright, instead hurling insults despite an active gag order.
I'm not allowed to use his name because of the gag order. But you know, he's a sleazebag. Everybody knows that.
Michael Cohen testified that Trump directed him to pay off adult film actress Stormy Daniels to keep quiet about a sexual encounter with Trump. Trump stated that his team plans to appeal the decision. The verdict has the world talking. Local 5's Larissa Leone spoke with Iowa political professors to see if the outcome of this could sway Iowa voters.
Stephanie, since yesterday's verdict, many people nationwide are looking for answers as we enter uncharted political territory. If you take a look behind me, you can see the top Google searches by Iowans surrounding this topic. And we spoke with political professors to answer the many questions about what happens next for the former president and if these verdicts will impact Iowans' decisions come Election Day.
Donald Trump and his legal team are hard at work trying to figure out their next steps after being found guilty on all counts in his hush money trial. Trump says he plans to appeal the verdict, which could take months. With a total of 34 convicted felony counts, the former president continues to deny any wrongdoing.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial.
As the nation tries to piece together what this all means for Trump, Iowa State political professor Karen Kedrowski shares what impact this historic verdict could have on the presidential election.
States like Iowa that are heavily Republican or other states that are heavily Democratic, this is not going to likely change the outcome of the November election.
Kedrowski highlighted, nevertheless, this is a noteworthy moment in our history, even if voters aren't swayed because of it.
Never before has there been a president or former president who has been convicted of a felony crime. The closest that we came to this beforehand, before this, was President Nixon with the Watergate scandal.
Associate Professor Kelly Winfrey believes the verdict can affect voters' faith in the justice system and what our Republican leaders do here in Iowa.
They're still going to endorse the party candidate. They're still going to endorse Trump. But I think, they still need to be careful to validate that the legal system is sound and functions well.
Winfrey agrees Iowa voters won't move their alliances to another candidate because of this decision, but hopes the fight for felons' right to vote will be no longer questioned.
It is almost absurd, right, that we were debating whether or not felons could vote, and now we're saying vote for a felon. And what does that say about representation, right? That kind of at least says to me that probably felons should be able to vote because we're going to elect, they could be electing.
Trump's sentencing will take place on July 11th. That comes before the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Stephanie?
Larissa, thank you. The other question raised is if he wins the White House, could former President Trump pardon himself? We'll have that story in about 10 minutes.